Welcome back to Fox and Friends. We're going to lead with a Fox News alert. A suspected terrorist with ties to Iran allegedly targeted Ivanka Trump for assassination. Sources telling the New York Post that the man behind the plot is the IRGC-trained Iraqi national taken into custody just last week.
The plot against Ivanka reportedly responds to President Trump killing Iranian military chief Qasem Soleimani. A source telling the Post that the suspect, quote, went around telling people we need to kill Ivanka to burn down the house of Trump the way he burned down our house.
Here with reaction is the national correspondent for the Daily Signal, Tony Kinnet. So great to have you out here in Indianapolis, Tony. So this is a really wild story involving this Iraqi national who was arrested last week in Turkey.
Well, this is an individual who's actually been complicit in either the planning or the execution of a number of terror attacks on Jews and Americans around the world, both in New York as well as Amsterdam. He's also suspected of being involved in a couple of attacks in Belgium. So this is an individual we've been looking for a while. He was just arrested in Turkey on May 15th.
And so we're learning, Tony, more a little bit of what this IRGC terror suspect said. He said this as well. I say to the Americans, look at this picture and know that neither your palaces nor the Secret Service will protect you. We are currently in the stage of surveillance and analysis. I told you our revenge is a matter of time. So, Tony, are we at risk of more plots?
I think this is a great case in point of the number of attacks that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, that Islamic fundamentalist group, is willing to go to consistently on the calendar with attacks against Americans, with threats against Americans, both in leadership and general civilian population, with their attacks on churches and synagogues. There is a consistent threat from the Iranians that goes all the way back past Qasem Soleimani, as you alluded to earlier. And I think these threats are going to continue as long as the IRGC is in any way fungible as an organization.
All right, Tony, I want to move to this because there's some big news that happened last night. We learned that Tulsi Gabbard, DNI director, has put in her resignation, and part of it is because, or the reason she says she is resigning is her husband, Abraham, has come down with a rare form of bone cancer. Those of us who know her and her husband, they are the most amazing people, are heartbroken over this. And yet, I want you to watch this montage of how the Democrats have reacted to this news.
This is the fourth woman to leave the administration in the past few months.
In terms of the impact on U.S. foreign policy, I think it's basically irrelevant. She was entirely out of the loop on decision-making.
This was because basically she's just not in sync with this administration. This is why her initials, D&I, became do not invite.
You know, probably one of the worst things that I've read is from Neera Tanden. She's a former Biden official. This is what she said. She said that Tulsi Gabbard violated every principle she ever held as a leftist for power, and out 18 months later, total fraud. I don't know any woman who is more principled in government than Tulsi Gabbard. Why do they have this kind of reaction to a public servant who is facing a very serious health concern for her husband?
It's self-gratifying, right? The social media ecosystem, a lot of the kind of the analysis and punditry sphere is all about getting out and saying the spiciest thing as soon as the news breaks. And it really shows how disgusting a lot of these individuals' characters are revealed to be. The most principled thing you can do as a wife is to leave something behind, as a spouse in general, is to leave your career behind. We've seen this with men and women in the administrations of the world, to take care of their spouses going through a struggle with bone cancer. I mean, the lack of character one must have to make that moment about them and their need to criticize her perceived flaws and her role in the administration is
But why are these politicians, though? Because you're raising a good point. Senator Adam Schiff said, you know, his line was like, while the circumstances around her departure are deserving of our sympathy, so we're there.
Yeah. He,
in the same breath, says Tulsi Gabbard's only positive contribution to our nation's national security is her resignation. In the same breath, why the vitriol?
I mean, you have to look back at also her successful military service record alongside her civil service record. It's completely inappropriate. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer did the same thing. He said, we're wishing them well, but as though you need to say anything else. Why do you need to make this moment about
There
you?
used to be a time when at least people would take a beat.
Correct.
There is something happening in our politics that is so unfortunate and poisonous that even on a day like this, one day later, in fact, some of these remarks were, seconds after she put in the resignation, they don't even take a beat to go, okay, we can criticize her on a different day.
Maybe they should get out and live a little and enjoy life, and maybe come to the Indianapolis 500 and realize and enjoy all of our freedoms the way the rest of America does. Tony Kinnet, so great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, indeed.
You got it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.